Hi, welcome to my video on crafting non-judgmentally. I'm in the process of putting my first layers down, and I wanted to have this going in the background while I'm talking to you, just to demonstrate how judgments can get in the way. As you can see, I'm making quite a mess here, and I was thinking, oh, I hope this looks all right. I hope it doesn't look too amateurish. But realised I was making a judgment and quickly let it go so I could continue. As I put the layers down, I notice a lot of thoughts coming in and out, mostly about the creative process and what I needed to do next. But with this process, it is about letting go of your thoughts so that you don't think about it too much, because it is creative. It's about letting your mind go into another place and letting your hands do the work. So it's important to use different things to practice being non-judgmental. The idea of me doing this canvas was to not think too much about what I was doing, but rather let the process emerge. It's about putting layers down and allowing those layers to be what they were. If they smudged, if they didn't come out quite right, it didn't matter. It's about letting go of judgments. Life can be a bit like that. It's about layers. And sometimes when we put those layers down, we don't always know why or where we're going because we can't read the future. But it's about allowing ourselves just to be in that moment, to live that moment, and to see what happens. If things don't quite turn out the way we planned, then that's okay. It's more about enjoying the process of getting there rather than the end result. So generally life works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And that again doesn't really matter, because it is about us living life and then fixing it when it doesn't quite go right. Sometimes we can fix it on our own, and sometimes we need to ask for help. The next process is spraying some sprays down, and again, trying to protect the workplace and trying to protect canvas and things around is quite difficult, and life can be like that. Sometimes we need to put things in place to be our safety nets, sometimes we don't. But again, it's letting go of those judgments of, I can't get it right, it'll go wrong. Actually, it isn't about getting it right or making sure it doesn't go wrong. It's about being in that moment and enjoying that process. I certainly found that whilst I was doing this, I certainly was judging myself a little bit. I am a bit better these days at not judging, so because I was focusing on not judging, I was able to, most of the time, be free to experiment and just give things a go, as you can see. Adding water, letting things happen, adding paints, not adding paints. Awareness is about being in the moment, paying attention and letting go of judgments, being mindful to life, experimenting. This process here, I've added red and green together that make brown, and I always seem to make brown when I'm doing this sort of thing, but actually it came out quite well. So again, letting go of that judgment of, well, it's going to turn out like this. Well, actually, sometimes life doesn't turn out quite as you think it will. We add layers and layers of things, activities, moments, and things seem to mix together, and at some point they don't quite come out as you think, but sometimes they do come out. I hope you've enjoyed the mindfulness process, and I hope you're enjoying watching me messing with colours. This bit was my favourite because I really like blue, and I thought it really brightened up the canvas. So be curious about what happens in your life. Be curious to see what happens when you experiment. Be curious to find out what it's like to let go of those judgments when you can or cannot do anything, particularly those judgments about yourself. There's a need in all of us to show ourselves compassion and work on our self-compassion. As I'm doing this voiceover, things are bleeping. Again, I could start again, but I'm just going to let that go. It's just life. Life gets interrupted. I was really enjoying the process of doing the colours. And while I'm doing the voiceover now, while I watch it, it's allowing me to be reminded of letting go of judgments. The beauty that mess makes below those pieces of tissue look almost as nice as the canvas. So this is the canvas, and I thought it looked a bit dark, so I decided that I might need to lighten it up. It didn't go quite right, and you'll see in a minute what I mean. But I was able to correct it because I realised that it wasn't about right or wrong, or it going well or not. It was about just being in the moment and experimenting, trying out different things. So I'm adding some white to see if I can lighten it up. I was actually going to cut this bit out, and I'm realising now as I do the voiceover that I've left it in a bit long, and again I'm working on just let go of that judgment. Let's just see how the white was added. So this is what happened at the end. I added the white and blotted it off, and then I just added a few accent colours because it does lighten. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. And thanks for watching. And if you do want to see this canvas grow, just check out our YouTube at the link below.